You'd be surprised.
Would you name your son Scoop?
No.
So a nickname. Obviously, so let's say that you come up with a nickname, you get somebody pregnant, and then you start thinking about all these names. Oh, I'm gonna name my son this. I'm gonna name my son that. Do you automatically start thinking of nicknames, or do they just come to you whenever they're born?
Okay, wait a minute. Are you saying like are you talking in like a good way?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's
What kind of bad way would you nickname your son?
no. So okay, so me and V just had this conversation on an episode where we were talking about like baby names or whatever, and I was asking her because as a guy, like if I'm having a child, and maybe you did this, I feel like it's more so with boys though, but maybe you did this with a more, I don't know, but like I told her I feel like as guys, when we're having a child, when we're trying to pick a name, you automatically try to figure out like, oh, if I pick this name, what kind of nicknames can they come up with for my son? Like, no, that's too many nicknames they can be bullied with. Let's try something else. So that's initially where I thought you were going, but then you went the opposite route.
I got you. Okay. I was coming up with nicknames, as I was trying to give names to, my baby mama. And so the name we settle with can have so many different nicknames. And even though her name isn't professional, Amy is like one of them. And that's not, that's like the utmost professional name.
I got you. But to answer your question, like, I don't predetermine them. They just kind of come. Because usually nicknames kind of come like, they're usually based off something.
Yeah.
Or like something happens and it's like, peanut butter or peanut or strawberry. Or, I don't know. It's usually based around something.
So I saw a post somewhere they were saying that a lot of black nicknames are stink related or like stink, poop.
I know, I disagree with that.
Really?
Yeah.
I hear a lot of them. That's.
Well, I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying I disagree that the majority of them revolve around it.
Boo, which could be short for boo boo. No, that's a stretch. Okay.
Yeah, you stretch.
I mean, otherwise,
Mr. Fantastic right now, James.
What I mean, if you didn't think of boo as a nickname, what else would boo be?
You're a ghost. You never here when we need you.
That's what you're gonna name your partner?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You never here when I need you. No. No, like I said, I don't know, man. I don't know. Because now I'm trying to think, like, I can't think of a lot of stink-related nicknames. Outside of the ones you named, that's it. You made it sound like it was like a long list. I can't think of any.
I've heard some others. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. But you know what? It's worth a Google, as they would say.
I don't think it is, James.
I feel like I got to prove myself.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I guess I'm saying like I can't think of any. Like I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
This is not the website I should have looked at.
I was trying to tell you not to dirty your phone, James.
Stink delicious, stink rag, stink chops, stink bomb, stinky cheek. This is not.
I don't think those are real nicknames you don't call people.
I wanna say that I'll have to find that post, but that's gonna be impossible.
It's okay. It's all right as long as you believe it, James. You believe it within your heart
You don't
and in your soul.
You don't believe me?
No, I'm saying as long as you believe what the post said, if you believe that in your heart and soul.
Gotcha. Okay.
Then that's what you believe. Somebody has to believe it. They say there's always one person who will believe a post that is put up. You just may be that one person. Well, you could be number 2007. I don't know.
That's a random number.
I mean, it's not number one.
So, I never watched Supernatural.
I watched almost every episode.
I just came to a realization that Soldier Boy from The Boys has been acting for a while. He was in Supernatural. Never
They
knew
had
this.
15 seasons, I think. So yeah, I don't know what he did before that. I know he did a couple movies. He did some. I guess you could call it a scary movie. It's like a Valentine, My Bloody Valentine, something like that, where they were like a theme park or something.
Okay.
I think that's what it was called. But he was in that. But yeah, he's been active for a while, man.
I just figured he was the guy that played Two-Face in the Christian Bale Batman. I thought he was like the new version of him. Okay.
No.
Or
Another guy from Supernatural played Commissioner Gordon on Gotham Knights as well.
Did you beat that game?
I'm
talking about the show.
I'm talking about the TV show.
Listen.
I watched the first episode. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like this.
It's a little bit too late for this stuff. Like the CW DC stuff is run its course.
It's not even my issue. Is my issue wasn't even the fact of it being like the CW of it all, because I watched enough of it to be cool with it. My issue was the characters who they chose to introduce.
Who were they?
So you had Commissioner Gordon, right?
Okay.
So I mean, you don't get, you're not gonna watch. It's only one season anyways.
I'm not.
So the first episode, Bruce Wayne dies.
Okay. So just like the game.
Yeah, but his son, they blame his son because somehow these three kids, they break into Wayne Enterprises to steal like a gun or something out of a safe, but then they get to the office after he's been killed or whatever. So now they get framed because they were paid $100,000 to go steal the gun, but then they found out the payment came from Bruce Wayne's son, but he didn't pay. It's all convoluted.
So watching the show, like I probably wouldn't think too hard about it, but just hearing you talk about it, I'm like, this is a lot for just like something that can be so simple.
Now, mind you, I'm condensing like a couple episodes into like this summary, so you don't find all this out in the first episode. But like, or maybe you do. I don't know. I was also in and out. But like, so the son that you meet, he's not even a character from a comic. He's created strictly for the show. I think his name is like Harrison or Henry. I just know when I looked it up on Wikipedia, it's like nah, he's not a comic book character.
That's one of the things that they're trying to like not have their cake and eat it too. They kind of like what they did with the Joker. They said that they couldn't make him in Gotham. They couldn't make him like an authentic Joker, so they just Jerome Valeska and all these other names. It was like he's Joker, but we're kind of like not really doing it. But then he does become Joker. It was just weird.
Turner Hayes is his name.
No comment. I have comments.
He didn't even know his dad was Batman. He found out when he died because the person who killed him put a bat mask on him. It was like the bat is dead. And then he's like, why would my dad not tell me he was Batman? He didn't believe it. And then him and this girl who he's friends with, they stumbled upon the Bat Cave just all of a sudden.
I feel like it would have been something like a what's the name, Joseph Gordon-Levitt thing in the future. Oh, that's not my real name. My real name is Damian Wayne or something like that.
No. Like I said, Wikipedia specifically says created for the show.
Okay. All right.
Then you got the Joker's daughter.
Okay.
You got Carrie Kelly.
Yeah, I know Carrie.
You got Stephanie Brown.
I know Stephanie.
Okay. You got Harper and Cullen Rowe. You know them?
Are they like Gotham woman, Gotham man, or something like that?
They're brother and sister. I know that.
What was their names again?
Harper and Cullen Rowe.
No, those names don't ring a bell. I'm sure they probably are comic book characters, but I don't know.
Well, they are, but like I looked them up. They're like Bluebird or something like that.
Okay.
I don't
know them.
I don't really know any of these people. I know Carrie, but
was a Robin, and Stephanie I think was a Batgirl.
But the Carrie I know was redheaded.
Yes.
This Carrie is a Hispanic chick.
Diversity. You know, they got to do these things.
I mean, I'm not saying that to say like I was pissed off about it. It's just like when I was like, oh, it took me a while to connect the two because I was like, okay.
Carrie Kelly is such a Hispanic name.
I mean, you know, because because like I said, I was so disinterested in the show. I was just looking up stuff about the show. That's how I found the stuff out.
But there is a show that you did enjoy. I'm guessing if you watch the whole thing.
What show is that?
Reindeer Baby.
Baby Reindeer?
Yeah, that one.
I did. I watched all 7 episodes.
Baby Reindeer. So I would guess that they would be the same thing. A reindeer baby would be a baby reindeer. But anyway, so why the heck is it even named Baby Reindeer?
You really want to know?
Yes.
So, the lady, so Baby Reindeer is about this lady who stalks. It's really about the guy and his life. It's just his life of trying to become like a comedian and all this kind of stuff or whatever. So, he meets this lady, and because he's just a nice guy and he likes the attention she gives, you know, she ends up becoming too attached and she starts stalking him. Things, you know, progress. Like the first couple episodes are frustrating. Like when I say I almost turned it off on the first episode because it was like, because I saw clear-cut stops where him be like, hey, you got to cut this right there. And he just kept being like, hey, yeah, you know.
It's you know, I can deal with that.
I was like, oh, no. No, because like, okay, I'll give you an example. This is how you know she was crazy. So she came in, you know, she comes in talking about, oh, you know, I'm this high profile lawyer. I work on the World United Nations, you know, chamber things, blah, 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 all these high, you know, fluting, whatever. So he's like, hey, you want a cup of tea? I can't afford it. You can't afford a cup of tea? And you a lawyer that works with the United Nations?
That's something.
He even says it when he narrates. He's like, but you can't afford a cup of tea?
So you said he narrates. So is this kind of like that I don't remember the name. You?
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, he's kind of narrating throughout the show as well. But he's narrating like his inner thoughts about certain stuff that he pays attention to,
yeah, or
how he's feeling in a moment or whatever. But what did you ask me? I done got why it's called Baby Reindeer.
Yeah.
So it's called Baby Reindeer because the lady who's stalking him, she calls him reindeer all the time. She calls him my baby reindeer. That's what she calls him. But you don't learn why she calls him that until like the very last episode. Like to actually like the end of the last episode, you find out why she calls him that.
I want to ask, but I mean, obviously, if somebody else wants to watch the show, then they may not want to know.
I mean, I'll tell you all. I'll tell you all. But yeah, that's why I said. That's why I asked, do you really want to know? Because like I could tell you, but you basically be jumping to the end. I mean, it's not like a big reveal. It's not like it's because when you find out why she calls him that, it has nothing to do with what happens in the show. So it doesn't ruin any of that. It's just something you just find out at the end. Because it's like you find out through him listening to like a voicemail that she left on his phone. And he's just sitting in the bar listening to a voicemail. And then she tells him why she calls him Baby Reindeer.
If I was to, minus the Santa Claus aspect, if I was to just think of a reindeer, which is kind of like a deer, like would I be able to come to the conclusion myself?
I mean, I'll let you try it. I'll tell you if you're wrong or not.
No, I'm not going to try. I'm not going to say I don't have any context, because I do have some context, but
I'm interested to know what you think.
I've got nothing. I'm just thinking.
Take a stab at it, James.
Hunting. She's hunting them. That's the only thing I can think of. Yeah. No. I can't think of anything. Obviously, reindeer have antlers, but I can't put those together either.
Mm-mm. Is
it Santa Claus related?
No. It has nothing to do with Christmas or Santa Claus or any of that. It does have to do with reindeer, but not like the actual reindeer itself.
The word reindeer?
No, like an actual reindeer, but like not in the sense of like Rudolph or anything. You know what I mean?
I don't know anything about reindeer besides, snow and Santa Claus. And I
You
don't
do
even-
know reindeer are real, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't. What's so specific about them besides deer? Like, what's the difference?
That I don't know.
I can't think of. I don't know.
So it's a good show though. It's very dark, very twisted, very psychological. Like there's an episode, like I want to say it's episode 5, I believe, where it takes like, because it starts off going on the journey of him and old girl, him dealing with her and then the trouble she brings into his life, and then episode 5 hits, and then you go into his whole back story, and it's
So he's not innocent.
oh no. Well, in regards to her, yes, because he's not innocent in the sense of like, because obviously he doesn't just give her a hard break and say no, because he does like the attention, but he does some stuff that's stupid, but like he's not innocent in the sense of like why he enjoys that attention. There's some deeper. It's
Okay.
and when I say dark, it's I don't know, James.
This kind of stuff is it kind of like along the lines of I can't believe they're putting this out there, like in a TV show? Should it be more censored or less dark? Is that one of those kind of shock factors?
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Okay. Because I remember 13 Reasons Why when it came out. Oh, suicide and we shouldn't, and I was like, I don't know. So I don't know. I just have to watch it.
I tell you, but I don't, because I know you don't care. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you on here.
I can edit it out. Let's just go ahead and so what's going on? What's so bad and what's the baby reindeer thing? And so that reminds me of there's this I watch true crimes, and there's this guy I can't remember where he's from or where he ended up. I know he's Asian. Is he Asian or Indian? I'm pretty sure he's Asian. Mm-hmm. And he's gay, and he came. He didn't want to come out to his family because he would be dishonoring his family, so he decides to
That's a
go
good
to
thing for them.
go to college in England somewhere. So one thing about him is that I want to say that he didn't really have good a track record of like hooking up with anybody. Mm-hmm. So one thing he decided to do was he would sit out, be in his room, looking out his window, his apartment, and whenever he would see somebody just walking along the street looking vulnerable, whether they were, drunk or something, or I can't remember. I should, why even tell the story if I can't remember the details? But he would invite them back to his place. Oh, he would prey on people that needed something. So like he'd go to a bar, and then somebody's like, "Oh, my phone isn't charged," and he was like, "Hey, you're welcome to come to my apartment. You can charge it, and then you can just leave." So he would take them over there, and then he just offer them a drink, and he would lace it with something, and the person would wake up later, and then don't know how they passed out, but then they were like, "All right, thank you," and leave. So this had gone on for years, and there had been some people who woke up while dude was in the process of penetrating them, and they didn't say anything because they were embarrassed, didn't want anything like that to come out. But then one day, somebody beat him up really badly, which, in my eyes, I'm surprised it went years without anything like that happening.
Yeah.
So he was sent to the hospital. Oh, the dude woke up. Yeah. So the dude woke up, beat him up, and then he called the police. He was like, "Hey, I think he said I might have killed this guy, but this is what happened." So then they took the dude to the hospital, and they didn't believe him at first, but the dude was like, "Hey, where's my phone? I need my phone," because he was filming every time he did something like that. And eventually, it did come out that dude was drugging and. But anyway, so that made me think of that.
The world's a crazy place.
Yes, yes,
That's why I retreat to the NBA playoffs.
And that's such a. I mean, it wasn't the greatest transition, but I'll take it.
I mean, it wasn't the greatest transition, but it is the truth.
Yes, I agree. And I was trying to watch. I won't say trying. I was watching it a couple of days ago. The Mavericks. We can talk about it. Go ahead.
No, it's just I'm not gonna say they have gone the way I predicted they would go, but they have. Outside of I thought Indiana would be up 2-0.
Really?
But they lost because there was no Giannis because Giannis didn't play.
Yeah.
So I thought for sure they would won the first two games, but then Dame came out and I think he did 35 points in the first half or something like that.
So, right before the season ended, it came out that when Giannis and Dame was on the floor together, that they don't do as well as when they're separate. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying that I'd expected them to do better, but I could see it.
But at the same time, Indiana has beat the Bucks almost every time they played them the entire season except for one time. And that's when Giannis went for 60-something points.
Yeah, Tyrese Halliburton, he was doing well in the beginning of the season. I don't know when the I remember him going for 60. That was kind of around the All-Star break.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So I know Tyrese was doing great, doing so well, breaking records and everything, and then he kind of got injured and he came back and he wasn't the same. So I don't know.
I don't know. I just outside of that, I knew the Knicks would be up 2-0. But at the same time, I didn't want that to happen. But because I know Embiid is playing hurt, and he you can when you watch the highlights or watch the game, you can tell he's still but the crazy part about it, he's playing hurt. And he's still giving you almost 40 points.
I don't know what's going on with dude's eye, but he is listen, I know I ain't got long. I'm always hurt, and I need to at least make it to the championship. I'm trying to get there.
I don't know, man, because Maxey is giving his all too. Mm-hmm. I can't speak for Tobias and the rest of the crew. I mean, they're doing okay, but. Because if you had a healthy Embiid, come on, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't be disappointed. First of all, so I don't like the Knicks. I'm indifferent about the 76ers, so I didn't really care either way. But
that's how I feel about Cleveland and Orlando.
Who?
I don't. I really could care less who wins out of that series, bro.
So I like Evan Mobley. Orlando, I've never really had a care for anybody on the team or the team. So I do like Donovan Mitchell as well, but not to the point where it's I'm not trying to hate on Donovan Mitchell, but it's not I want to see him I hope he get a ring. It's more I mean, I like him. He's a good player, but I don't care.
Well, my thing is if I had to pick a team to root for that series, it's going to be Cleveland, simply because I like Donovan Mitchell.
Yep, I agree.
But the reason why I don't care is because I know whoever wins out of that series is going to lose, because they will go against who?
Are they the 4 or 5 seed?
That I don't know, James.
Okay, so the Celtics are playing an 8 seed, which is, don't tell me. So the Bulls, they lost the first game. They won the first game against Atlanta. And then they lost the second game against the Heat. So I guess it's the Celtics and the Heat?
The Heat is still in it?
Am I wrong? I may be wrong. Let me.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't.
Yeah, they're playing the Heat.
Oh, that's what. Okay. I guess I haven't been paying attention to that either because Jimmy Butler's not playing. So.
Yep. And then so the Heat played who first? I can't think of anyway. I was just looking. Let me just look at the standings.
The point I'm making is, I just know they're not going to get past the next round.
76ers. So the Cavaliers, yeah.
They're not beating the Knicks.
I don't know. I just don't have that much faith in the Knicks. Like I've never.
But that doesn't mean you can't respect the fact that they balling right now, man.
So okay. To me, the Eastern Conference is full of a whole bunch of people who I don't have faith in, and sure they are balling, and I mean somebody does have to win. Mm-hmm. Regardless, I don't think any of these people, barring any injuries, are beating the Celtics. But that's not what you're saying. So
yeah, I'm not saying the Knicks are going all the way. I'm just saying you not. If I'm watching Cleveland versus the Knicks, I'm putting my money on the Knicks.
Just the personnel.
The only. Well, maybe not the only, but like the biggest advantage I would give Cleveland over the Knicks would be Allen.
I think Cleveland has the bigger names, but that obviously don't mean anything with the way the Suns are going. Julius Randle had a season-ending surgery, right? He's not playing.
Yeah, he's not playing right now.
Oh, I don't have any faith. No, the Knicks ain't doing anything. They're not getting past second round.
I didn't say they would.
You said nobody's getting past the Knicks, like the Cleveland and.
Oh, that is the second round. Yeah. So they're gonna beat Cleveland.
No, I don't see it. Cleveland. If Cleveland gets there, Cleveland beating them.
Like I said, the only advantage I give Cleveland over the Knicks is Josh Allen because the Knicks don't have like a lot of height.
Yeah. Like
But the way they play, they're aggressive on defense, and Cleveland doesn't do well when you play them aggressively.
We'll just have to wait and see.
For the record, I really could care less.
Right.
This is just if I had to make a pick, that's what I would pick.
Listen, if I had to pick a team that I don't care about that could make it, so first I guess it's the Nuggets. You know, I mean that's a given. But
that's the point. We all know it's going to be the Nuggets and the Celtics.
But that's what like I would say the other team would be the Timberwolves, and I'm not saying that I'm jumping on a but
yeah, they are. Hey, I'm not going. You said listen, James. I just watched the highlights.
Yes.
They playing
the way Anthony Edwards 2 games in a row. He shooting over Kevin Durant.
Yes.
He was talking mess the first game too.
He was.
And that right there in particular has got everybody talking about, man, Curry's out of the playoffs. Kevin Durant and LeBron James are down 0-2. So it's like it's a changing of the guard.
Let me ask you this question. So I was watching speaking of LeBron James, I was watching I want to say it was Inside the NBA. It was something. One of them I can't remember. Mm-hmm. And so they showed a clip of LeBron doing his post-game interview, and he was pretty much talking about like, what's the point of having the replay, whatever, because the foul this and the foul that, and they should have called a foul. Which, not saying he's wrong.
Right.
As the video I was watching, they said too that nobody's saying he should have called a foul, but the foul didn't what lost y'all the game because y'all were up by 20. And then y'all just lost.
And another thing is, I'll talk about it in a second, but, it's been documented. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere that they have over 1,000, like the free throw disparity. The Lakers have continuously gotten more free throws than every other team to the point where it's like the top 2 or 3 next teams, if you add them together, still don't equal the free throws that the Lakers got over other teams. So you complaining about not getting calls, but you have historically been getting calls. So you need to either and that goes to 20 points ahead. Like you've been given the benefit of the doubt. You were the 10th seed and you got into the playoffs. Now it's time to step your game up and you can't rely on these refs. You need to win if you're up by 20.
It's the same situation when I think they were playing the Celtics when it was like when LeBron was making a layup at the end, like the last second.
Yep.
And he was visibly upset because he didn't get the foul, but it went into overtime. All right, cool. Yeah, you upset you didn't get the foul. Beat him in overtime.
Let's regroup and let's get this win.
But you still lost.
It's like so somebody, if there's a team who like lost by 1. Mm-hmm. And they're sitting there talking about oh well, if we just had this, if we would have made one more free throw, if we would have did this. If you're a good team, then why are you losing by 1? Like if you're such a great team and you should be winning by more than just it shouldn't be that close.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, like on the flip side, don't get me wrong. Like I'm not gonna sit and act like all the players are wrong about speaking out about not getting fouls called, because it's not like it just happens to LeBron, and like it happens to a lot of players throughout the league. And yes, it is something to be looked into. However, when you have chances to win the game, win the game.
Yep.
Like you yell about the foul, but you were up by 20. Like,
and I love Charles Barkley. He was like, they always got somebody who they blame, and they blame D'Angelo Russell now. It was Frank Vogel. It was Russell Westbrook. Now it's D'Angelo Russell. It's never LeBron James, and I'm not saying that, LeBron just has amazing games or everything, or he never has a bad game, but they never like take, what's the word? They never take accountability. Like, I gotta do better. I gotta get my teammates more involved, or I gotta do this. I gotta do such and such.
Hey man, I don't know. Sounds like a Doc Rivers type of statement. The reason why we're losing is because it's the water boys that was passing out water, and it's the towel people.
I was about to say towels. The towels are too rough. Every time we wipe it across our faces, it only gets a little bit of half the sweat.
Yeah. People not charging the tablets, so I can't put the plays up to show them what to do in timeouts.
My marker's dry.
Yeah, all of that. It's their fault. Why would you even say that? You're blaming people that don't even do it. Come on. It's the valet people not parking the cars right.
It's the cameras. The cameras, they've been looking at me too much.
Dang on announcers, talking loud. That's just, I don't know, man.
Shot clock.
It is what it is, though. I don't think the Bucks are gonna make it. I don't think 76 is gonna make it. I had more faith in the Suns, but then Timberwolves just showed up. Clippers had me hopeful after the first game. Then Kawhi came back and they shut all that down. I don't understand. You played so well without him, and then Kawhi comes back and it's like. Granted, they only lost by 3, but still.
Just like when James Harden got there, we got to take some time to reach a jail. But I know people have been saying this for like a few years now, but I'm not saying that no super teams are going to be formed, and you can say that if they're not doing well, then it's not a super team. So let's just say a bunch of stars getting together on a team. I'm not saying that era is over, but them winning championships, I think it's pretty obvious that they don't win championships. And who knows? I think this might be the last time that this has happened last year because of the apron having to spread the talent around. But as far as the Mavericks, obviously I want the Mavericks to beat the Clippers. I know you've been saying that you think the Clippers might make it. But the Clippers have given the Mavericks a hard time in the past.
But that was the past.
The Clippers have all these names, which I just said really don't mean anything. So in my mind, obviously that means that they're not going to win a championship. But that doesn't mean that they can't eliminate a few teams on the way.
True.
The Mavericks don't ever really put together a very good roster, and they barely won this game. 7 games, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how far they're getting this series, next series. I don't know.
I mean, what do you like? It's okay. Do you think it's 6?
Maybe
6
I'm
games?
maybe I'm overreacting, but I just know it took them like seven games to beat the I don't know, the Suns. Maybe I'm thinking of this wrong, but so I'm just gonna go based on what I want to happen. I think the Mavericks can win in 6 games.
How do they do it? What do they have to do different to do it?
I think Westbrook has to have some bad games.
He already had a bad game.
Last game, I know he didn't score that much, but he did I don't know. When I jumped in, he hit a three, and he had some assists and rebounds.
Yeah, I mean, those are pivotal moments, but all in all, he didn't have that great of a game.
I'm not saying that they need injuries, but injuries wouldn't hurt.
They would hurt if they injuries.
I mean, they wouldn't hurt the Mavericks. That's sad. Just thinking that your team, just the only way they're gonna make it is if the other team get injured. I don't know. I just don't like the Luka and Kyrie combination. And watch I say that, and they make it all the way to the finals.
I don't know. I've often said to you, I don't like the fact that Luka controls the ball too much. Mm-hmm. But the last playoff, they did get pretty far with Luka controlling the ball.
Yep.
But at the same time, was the competition the same, or was the competition different? I honestly don't remember. That's why I'm asking.
I'm not sure, but I mean, he has Kyrie, so it's not like he has to have the ball too much. I think that's just the game plan. I think that's just what they know works, and he's like the alpha on the team, and I don't think that it's going to change. I personally don't see the problem with it. I just need Kyrie to be swapped out with a big man, a good big man. I won't say a star, because like when I think about who they can trade for, it's like all the stars are locked up. Like I don't know who good they can get. Like I was thinking DeAndre Ayton last year, but one, he's not doing. He's not even getting talked about on the Portland Trailblazers, and
for good reason. He ain't doing nothing. He didn't do much on the Suns.
I felt like, so when he was on the Suns, I felt like he was not being held back. Well, I think being held back, and we just didn't know his potential. But I think part of it, maybe he's just here for a paycheck, and he may not really care.
Could be. I don't know. Let me ask you this question to your star point.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's better to put stars together, i.e. like a Clippers or like a Golden State or whatever, or create a roster of stars like OKC?
So I want to say 2 stars max and let the rest happen organically. But then the stars matter, the positions matter in my eye. So can't have adjacent stars, which I guess Boston has kind of proven that wrong with Tatum and Brown. But with the Nuggets, you got center and point guard. With I guess the year before that, would probably also, because you had Steph and Clay. 22 and 21 of Bucks, power forward and small forward. Okay. Anyway, I just think that organically putting something together would be better than putting it just randomly, because it didn't work with the Suns, it didn't work with the Nets. It's just not really working.
But here's the thing, though. Like, okay, do you think it didn't work because the reason why I don't count the Clippers and the Suns as not working is because there was always somebody hurt. When you put KD with the Warriors, which is bringing another star that already has 2 to 3 stars already, it worked because everybody was healthy. So they had time to play together, learn each other. You brought Beal to the Suns. Well, you brought KD, then you brought Beal. Beal didn't play for a while. Then he would play. KD wouldn't play. Then KD would play. Devin wouldn't play. Then you did the Clippers. You had Kawhi. You brought Paul George. Paul George hurt. Kawhi would play. Paul George come in. Kawhi wouldn't play. So they never really had maybe a full season together to really mesh.
On the other hand, you did have people, and I mean the Warriors just a better team, but you had, Bosh, Wade, LeBron, you had Bron, Kyrie, Love, which, they also, so you've had teams that also, sure, during the playoffs there was some Kevin Love being injured and Kyrie being injured, but for the most part the Heat were fine, and they didn't do it again. The Warriors are just better. And then, what's the name? Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett. They won that 1 year, and then they couldn't do it afterwards.
Well, there was also a lot of animosity in the locker room with that one.
Which is definitely something that's going to happen with a whole bunch of stars.
Maybe not. But that affects the chemistry too. Mm-hmm. So, but that's not a guarantee.
I agree.
So, the point I'm making is, with a superstar team, just because you bring stars together and they don't make it all the way, doesn't necessarily mean it didn't work, especially if you never really saw them play together a lot. Like, I guess what I'm saying is, like, we really haven't had time to really see if it works or not. Because, like, this is the first time Beal has been to the playoffs with them, because they just brought him in after the All-Star break, and he played, 20-some games? Something like that? I don't know. I'm just guessing.
And, I mean, it could be just a matter of, goodness. When Rudy Gobert first got to the Timberwolves, they did horribly that year, but the next year they're, number 2. So next year they could do well, get an off season where they're all resting and getting back healthy. But in the grand scheme of things, whether they were injured or not, it is one of those things that, they just didn't work if they didn't have time, or regardless. So the Clippers, like, they've been together for years now, and obviously not James Harden and Russell Westbrook, but Kawhi and PG.
Yeah,
they've been taking turns getting injured. So I mean, they've had years to get this together.
Now that one I'll give you more, because I was more so talking about just with Kawhi, with Russell and what's the name? Yeah, Kawhi, PG, and
yeah. But no, I hear you with the Suns. It's just the first year, and we have yet, even though Kevin Durant, I think, was there last year, and he didn't play with. Did he play with Paul George?
Yeah.
Sorry, not Paul. Chris Paul.
I knew you were talking about. Yeah, it's Chris Paul.
I don't know why that's just not even in my head. Okay. Yeah.
Chris Paul was the third person.
Okay.
And they went to the conference finals, I believe.
I remember. So the Lakers. I think the Lakers. No, it was Lakers and Nuggets conference final. Yeah.
Was it? Mm-hmm. So they got put out before that then.
Yeah. I don't know by who.
I just know they got. I just remember them getting pretty far because I was like, this could be their year. Because I was really happy. I wanted Chris Paul to get a ring.
I think the Lakers put him out the second round. I think.
No, that sounds about right. Because I think I remember somebody saying. Which brings me to my next question, making a point that I think Kevin Durant hasn't made it past the second round since he left the Warriors.
That makes sense.
Which my question is, how do you, I don't know how you feel about KD right now.
Okay.
But if they get swept by the Timberwolves, what does that do for your ranking of KD?
I've never really considered him, towards the upper echelon. I won't say upper echelon. Obviously, he's like, I can't deny who he is or what he's done. But as far as, like, me personally saying, Kevin Durant is here, he's a top 25, top 50 player. I can recognize somebody else saying he's a top 50 player. However you came to that conclusion, that's fine with me. But in the grand scheme of things...
You would put him in your top 50?
In the grand scheme of things, and I have been a Kevin Durant sympathizer when it comes to him being on the Warriors, but if we were to take the Warriors out of the picture and just go based on what he did at OKC, the Nets, and all this other stuff, he'd just be, I won't say Allen Iverson, but he'd be just another guy putting up stats and one MVP. Like he's just what's the word? Run-of-the-mill, borderline Hall of Fame player.
So is Allen Iverson in your top 50?
I'd have to sit down. Like, I don't know enough about the older players for me to really have a top 50. But if I was to go based on just people that I've watched, then yeah, Allen Iverson and Kevin Durant would definitely be in my top 50. But if I had to try to include all those other people, that would
Well,
be
nobody's asked you to do all that.
Yeah, that would
I'm
be
talking
a-
just you personally. Like, if you had to make your own personal top 50, Kevin Durant would not be in your top 50.
of all the players I've watched. Yes, he would be in my top 50.
Oh, that's all I'm asking, man.
Yeah.
I'm not finna put no Bob Cousy or Scoot Henderson. He sound like he played in the 70s. You can't deny it, man. Scoot Henderson does sound like he played in the 70s. Cause man. You can see it, can't you?
I'm trying to. I know that you having some weird names back then, and I'm trying to think of one, and I can't off the top of my head.
Scoot Henderson for the 3. Yeah, you can hear it.
Magic Johnson. That's the obvious one that we all have come to, just not understand, accept. But back in the, I can't think of any. Just let it go.
To my back in the day players.
Yeah, with just like a name like Booby. I know there's a Booby something. Mookie Blaylock, which was his actual. I don't know. I can't think. Like those are two that came to my mind.
It's all good. Bob Cousy's the only one that came to my mind. What's the NBA logo guy name?
Jerry West.
Jerry West. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I thought it was something else.
Maybe Pistol Pete.
No, I know who Pistol Pete is. Pistol Pete is great. You don't talk crap about Pistol Pete.
I mean, Jerry West is great.
I'm not saying he wasn't.
Okay, all right.
I'm saying I was trying to think of his name, but it wasn't coming to me. I was thinking like Jerry something. I couldn't remember West. Speaking of which, I need to finish watching Winning Time. Is it even still on Max, or did they take it off?
I don't know about it still, because I think I saw it on Netflix at one point.
Oh, I don't know. I have to finish the last season because they canceled it.
Yeah, I barely finished the first season. Like I got all the way up to like the last 2 episodes, and I just ran out. I don't know why. I just wasn't interested anymore.
I finished the first season, but like I had an interest for the second season, and then it just kind of.
Yep. I asked you one day. I was like, "You watching season 2?"
But it had nothing to do with the show. It was just like other stuff. And my interest in other stuff just got higher, and then I just kept putting it on the back burner.
There's so much to watch.
And then I was like, "Oh yeah, Winning Time."
Hot D is coming out.
What?
House of the Dragon. Hot D.
Yep. I'm just gonna leave that right there. I got nothing.
You don't want this Hot D? That does not go with the show. That's
I was trying to save you, James.
You don't
to save you.
You don't want to see. Nope. You don't.
I was trying to save you, James. Just let it.
Just let it go.
Listen, I'm telling you to let it. I let it go a while ago. I let it go a while ago. It's okay. It's okay.
All right. Yep.
It's okay.
What other stuff is coming out?
Speaking of new stuff coming out, so you saw the new trailer for the Deadpool Wolverine, right?
Yes. Yep.
Did it take your excitement level up higher, or is it still about the same?
I don't know how I feel about the Wolverine costume without the sleeves, which, I understand why they did it. It's fine. It looks weird to me. I want the sleeves.
Well, you probably gotta. I mean, granted, it's a trailer, so I'm one like you. I know they did it because of the comic book and whatever, but I'm pretty sure because he had sleeves at first, there's a reason why the sleeves come off.
So to answer your question, yes, I'm more excited. Just based on what I've heard, there's nope. Maybe I shouldn't say it. I don't know. You might. And
I told you, James, I try not to get into that stuff anymore.
Okay, all right. Well, then I won't say
I mean, I still hear things, so I probably have heard it, but I don't go looking for it. Rather, I say it that way.
I'll just say that there's probably a good reason for it. No sleeves.
For the actor-wise or for the movie-wise?
For the movie-wise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I was watching some person, they were like, so these are things that I want to happen in a movie. I want Toad to be in a movie, which I think they have confirmed he's in a movie.
Well, and I won't see him in the trailer.
So I know, when she was coming out of the mask, I know they had Azazel.
He's on like the left.
Okay, I only remember seeing Azazel. I didn't really look for anybody else. But I know Pyro's in it, so I think there's maybe 4 people at the bottom.
It's more than 4.
So 6. Like it wasn't a lot.
More than 6.
It wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
No.
It's more than 6, James.
But
I just watched the breakdown of the trailer. It's more than 6.
So when out of all the things that dude said, because some of it's like, well, a lot of it's like, I want somebody to go up to Toad and be like, you know what happens to something when it's, you know what happens to a Toad when it's hit. But it wasn't lightning. It wasn't lightning, but it was something that was like, somebody. Anyway.
Why would we bring that back?
Exactly, and he did something like that. Oh, and he was like, how do I know you're Cyclops? And he was like, you're a dick. So I was like, we don't have to do this. Like we're at this point we're making the movie tacky. But there was something that he said that I actually liked, which part of it, like when he started it, I didn't like it, but he was saying he wants it to be a kind of like an end game thing where, they're sitting there and then somebody says on your left, because Deadpool is he fourth wall breaking, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I don't want us to reference Endgame. Like we could let's leave the referencing and stuff in the past. But then he said that, Angel flies out and he lands and he's like, where's everybody else? And he was like, this is who we got. He's like, what's your power? He was like, I fly. And he was like, I'd have to watch it, but I like the idea of that being a joke, and everything else I was like, no, we can do without. But that one was I like that one. Ain't no telling what dude looks like. The actor, his name is Ben, right? Ben something that played what Angel.
Actor? Nah, I don't know that, Jack.
That was a long time ago. Ben, I think Dahir liked him, like that actor.
I mean, I remember liking the actor, but I don't remember his name. Because he was a good Angel, but then again, I had no comic book reference of Angel or anything like that. So I enjoyed him for what he gave me.
Ben Foster, that was his name.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I remember. Yeah, he loves some Ben Foster. But to his point, Ben Foster's a good actor.
I don't know what else he's been in. Like, it's been... I'm sure he was popular back then, and
The Mechanic.
Jason Statham?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it. And I remember him talking about Ray Liotta. Oh, I love Ray Liotta. And I don't remember the conversation, but apparently Ray Liotta was a big thing, too.
He's a good actor, too.
Yeah, he got old. Which, all people do, but...
I thought he died.
He did. I just,
I thought he died, James.
He did. I'm just saying, like, because back in the day, he wasn't old, but
he didn't look old.
And now, yeah. I guess it's maybe that was like 2012, 20 years later, and now he's gone.
The last movie I saw him in was I don't know if this was the last movie he made, but the last movie I watched that had Ray Liotta in it was Cocaine Bear.
So I'm sure I recognize him in it, but I can't remember him being in it. Who was he?
He was the
bad guy.
I mean, I guess you could call him the bad guy. I mean, he was the guy who had his cocaine stolen.
Yes. Yep.
So is he really the bad guy?
Yeah, he was.
Or is he just a guy trying to get back what was stolen from him?
He was an antagonist.
That's a better term.
Okay.
I wouldn't just call him a bad guy. Like, hey, you stole my product. I want it back.
I forgot about that one. The last one, was he in The Little Things?
I didn't watch The Little Things.
Okay.
That's Denzel Washington, right?
I know it was like the HBO Max whenever, during COVID, and it went straight to, with Jared Leto.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Denzel Washington. It probably was, because now that I think about it, yeah, yep.
I didn't watch it.
And I don't see Ray Liotta. So I was wrong.
I meant to watch it. Just never got to it.
It was okay. I mean, it wasn't, a movie that you would expect with, I was going to say Ray Liotta. He wasn't in it. With Denzel Washington and
Jared Leto?
I was going to say Rami Malek. Cause,
yeah, he was in it too.
Yeah, Jared Leto doesn't make hits. Like he's not a certified hit maker. Is what I'm trying to say.
So you don't think he can carry a movie?
I think he can. I'm just saying, like, you know, for me to say The Little Things wasn't the movie you thought you would get with Denzel Washington and Jared Leto. I mean, Jared Leto he doesn't have the best track record. But Rami Malek, you know, on the other hand, I think he has more as like in the whole scope of work, he has more good than bad as opposed to Jared Leto. In my eyes. Now
I don't disagree with that. I'm just trying to think of the two the films that I've seen from them in comparison. So I know with Jared Leto, obviously Joker and Suicide Squad,
Morbius,
Old Buddy and House of Gucci. I didn't see 2049. What is
Blade Runner?
Yeah, I didn't see that. I can't think of anything else I saw that he was in it. But compared to Robin and Malky, who was in the show, it was Mr. Robot, whatever.
Yep.
Queen.
Yep.
Oh, Bohemian Rhapsody.
So this
I'm
one.
trying to think of things that I've seen. I haven't.
So I liked it, but the Night at the Museum Battle.
Oh yeah, he was in that. Yeah, yeah, I like that too. I can't think of anything else I've seen that he was in it.
Like I don't.
Without looking up, I'm trying to do it without looking at the list.
No Time to Die, the 007 movie. He was the guy with the mask.
Yeah, with the face.
Yep.
No, that was.
He was the guy with the mask.
He was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I thought that was Javier Bardem.
That was in the previous. I don't know if it was Spectre or Skyfall. I think it was Skyfall.
Oh, okay.
Because he had he took out his teeth. And yeah, that was.
Okay. I knew it was a face thing. That's just two face things in one series. It's just, come on, man.
But you got Mission Impossible where they just taking faces off every movie.
Yeah, but they still had that nice face up. But I'm talking about you got two villains who's like, oh, my face.
I'm a scarred villain. Was listen, whenever I think of a elderly person taking out their teeth, that's exactly what I think of.
Listen, my grandmother used to love chewing gum, but it would get stuck to a denture, so she had to take them out to pull the gum off the dentures. Oh man, I hated that. I hated it.
My whole life, I've only known one person to take their teeth out and put them in water. That was my grandma. I don't know anybody else.
I don't think my grandmama did it. She's also the reason why I don't really like red apples either.
What did she do to make you not like them?
So, because she liked eating red apples, but she would like peel them and eat them. But she wouldn't, well, not like slicing them.
Yep.
But she wouldn't peel the skin off. She would slice it, put it in her mouth, chew the apple, spit the skin out. So it'd just be a plate of like apple skin. So she wouldn't peel the apple first and then slice and eat it. She would just slice it, chew it, spit the skin out.
So that's I don't have the oral dexterity to de-skin something in my mouth. Sunflower seeds. I don't have it, and
you can't do sunflower seeds.
Not a whole bunch of them at one time.
Oh, I can.
Like I've never tried.
You slide something and then do it.
I guess I don't know what y'all be doing.
So usually what I do is like I don't do it as much now. Well, I don't do as many because it used to be I could do maybe not a handful, but like half a handful. Mm-hmm. But now it's just like maybe 4 or 5. You put them in there. I just slide them to the right or to the left. Either side really. You slide them to one side and then you just take one over and you crack it and you spit the hull out and you eat the seed.
And you got the other one just in a pouch, cheap pouch.
Yeah, you just keep them tucked in the pouch and you just pull one until you're done.
Nobody's taught me these things.
So you just thought, so you put a handful of seeds in your mouth and you just keep them all in it. You just circle them around.
Like a lotto.
No.
I didn't know.
That's impossible.
People, the cherry stems. I don't know.
Now that I don't know. I don't know how people do that. That is, to me, that is witchcraft. How do you tie? That is witchcraft to me. That's as close as witchcraft as you can get.
I dated a girl who was proud too, and you know,
As she should be.
but whenever she would do it to me, I couldn't feel it. And I did I tell you about her? Mm-mm. And then she told me, she was like, somebody in high school told me the same thing. I was like, well, between then and now, you probably should have got some less. You should have learned by now.
Nah.
I didn't, you know, the whole time I didn't, you know, really have the guts to tell her like it's trash.
Dude, I don't think any guy. Well, I ain't gonna say any guy because I know guys who don't care, but I know I can't because I have had trash, and I just be like,
It's the thought that counts. Good job.
I take it.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
As long as you're not using your teeth, I'm good.
The teeth were used, and that was part of why it's trash.
No, I gotta say something then.
Well, in my defense, teeth were used, and I didn't say anything, but I felt like, oh, because we were in the car, we were in the parking lot. Maybe she didn't have a lot of room. Car was small, you know. I ain't no small person, so I'm taking up the majority of the driver's seat. You know, even though I let the seat back, you know, so I'm like, maybe she needs more room to operate.
Right.
So we get, you know, next time it happens, we in her room, and it's the same.
Yeah.
It was better, but like it's like going from like a -3 to 0.
Like you gotta know that, like I'm sure, like your teeth don't have filling, but you should still be able to feel.
Well, she didn't use teeth the second time. That's what I said. It was better,
Okay.
but it didn't.
Yeah.
It still didn't go like, oh, no teeth, to like, It was just like, oh, no teeth.
Right.
That was only progress. It was like, oh, no teeth. Cool.
Are you interested in somebody that doesn't have teeth at all, like just gums, to see how it feels? Have you had it before?
No.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, I wouldn't do it now because of circumstances.
Right.
You know, being in a relationship, but like, yes, I would be interested. Gum me down.
Oh, what is that movie?
Velveteen rubbed me.
Make sure she drinks her Ovaltine first.
Yeah. Hey, man. Because the thing about it is like, there's a lot of women who have dentures or, you know, whatever, that aren't that old. So, I mean, they're like old. They're in their like 50s, but they're not like old. So.
You trying to get the meth girls.
No.
Listen, I have some fantasies that I'm not proud of.
You want a meth girl, Jay?
So I don't want one, but sometimes, you know, I think about.
No, Jay.
I just like I don't think about, you know, fist like in person, but just like a fantasy like.
Don't you?
Hey, she just walking down the street. Oh, I need somebody to do such and such. I'm like, all right, come down, let me just have my way with you. No, okay. I'll keep the rest to myself.
I mean, I'm not judging your thought. I just didn't think you would put it on camera.
I've got quite a bit. I've listen.
Hey, for the record, I'm not judging your fantasy. It's just, hey man, I was surprised you said it.
But I would never do anything like that in real life.
This guy, the new guy at work, told me the story about he had a homeboy who, there's a trailer park. I don't know if he said it was in their town or close to it. I can't remember. I listen and don't listen.
Mm-hmm.
So, but point is, he had a homeboy, went to this trailer park that's known for, prostitution.
Yep.
Or is it prostitution? He didn't really say they paid money, but again,
yeah.
I listen but don't listen.
Yeah.
All I know is you can go here and have sex. So his homeboy went. You go in the trailer, or you wait or whatever.
You wait.
Oh no, wait! I mixed the two stories together.
Because I was gonna say it sounds like a sex clinic. You get to sign some paperwork.
No. I mixed the two stories together. Sorry. So he was at a truck stop.
Nope.
He was at a truck stop, and he saw this. What they call them, lot lizards. You know what a lot lizard is?
I would. Okay, I can imagine.
So she was climbing out of one truck. Just got done doing whatever. So she's getting ready to go climb in another truck, but she was like, "Let me freshen up." So she went, squatted over some muddy water, splashed herself off with the muddy water.
Oh my goodness!
Went climbing into the other truck. Made that money.
And that's one thing about just dealing with people is that you don't know what you don't know. You don't know their past. You don't know what they just got done doing. You don't know.
So here's a question I ask you, because I made a statement, but I'm gonna ask you the question first.
Okay.
So, which would you rather have? Her fresh off the other guy, or would you rather her go get the muddy water splash first? You gotta pick.
So, oh my goodness, wow. That is a great question. Because I mean, to be honest, like the muddy water isn't really getting rid of everything.
But it's getting rid of enough.
Depends. I mean, who knows if he went in raw, if he finished inside. I mean, I would hope not, but I mean, it's a possibility.
Okay, I understand, I get you, but look at it from this perspective. At least with the muddy water, you can justify in your mind that she did enough cleanup for you to do what you got to do.
Which is true, but this muddy water is a whole. That's why I'm hesitating, because you don't know. It could be oil in there. There could be because what's the name? Mosquitoes lay eggs and they be wiggling around in standing water. It's so many things. So many. I don't know. I don't want either.
So are you wearing a condom?
Yes.
So why does it matter?
Because you can still get herpes from a condom.
I didn't say you can't. All I'm saying is you can still catch stuff without muddy water.
I don't
take the muddy water, man. Or would you prefer her just straight off the other guy?
If I'm wearing a condom, damn it, I don't like either one of them. I don't.
For the record, I don't want either one either. But like I told her buddy, I said I would rather have her clean off the dirty water than just straight from another guy.
If it's just straight mud, if she thinks it's good enough for her, we gonna say it's good enough for me. Let's go. Let's take the muddy water. Can I just get hit? I just want to hit. We ain't even got to go in there.
All right. I was born in the darkness.
And I would say go in the back door, but I mean, who knows? That could be. She could have washed that off too.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's funny.
That is crazy. So I would want to go just to see it. Like, not like watch them do it, but just to see.
Oh, to see like how it operates?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I've stopped at truck stops before, like while traveling or just in general, but I've never actually witnessed any of that.
So when you first said it, I thought you were gonna go, the glory hole route, which is, man on man. I thought that's where I thought you were going.
I almost sent you a video. I don't know if I saved it, but like,
I don't like where this is going.
no, it was like a joke video because like you know how you see like it was like a commercial. It was a commercial for the construction company. And it was like we install glory holes, and it was like you call them to install a glory hole. It was like we put them in gas stations. Some people put them in their homes. But it was like you could tell it was like satire or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious. I thought I had saved it because I was gonna send it to you, but then I got busy. But I may have saved it. I don't. If I did, I had sent it to you.
Somebody had sent me a video of this man just sitting like let's say in a closet, and there was a hole in the door, and then somebody came up and gave him something that was like work related, and I was like, oh, that's I see what they're doing here. But I thought that's what you were gonna say.
They were sliding documents through the hole?
I think so. I could be, I don't know, it may not have been documents, but it was obvious that it was a reference to a glory hole, but it was in like a professional setting.
I got you. Hey, man. It is what it is all I can say. Oh, that's funny.
So there's a show.
James and the Meth Lady. I'm sorry. It's still on my mind, James, but there's a show. What's the show?
The wonderful thing about imagination is that you can make things up.
This is true.
And you can, but it's not the same. Anyway, that's going to sound like some MCL kind of stuff. There's a show called Fallout.
Okay.
And
Oh, you want to talk about Fallout?
I'd love to talk about Fallout.
Have you watched all of Fallout?
I did. I watched all of Fallout.
I watched all the second season of Halo. So you talk about Fallout, then I talk about Halo.
All right. So I can guarantee to you that Fallout is a much better show than the first season of Halo.
Hey, man. I can't say that.
Because you haven't seen Fallout. Yeah, all right. So I will say it. So I'm going to have to talk about the bad things in Fallout. Mm-hmm. So it's episode 2 and like some parts of episode 6. Like the comedy doesn't really go with the rest of the show. The show was supposed to be bleak, end of the world, and sure, there's a fish out of water kind of thing where I don't know if you're familiar with Fallout, but there is, let's say, nuclear war that happens. Everything on the surface is let's say, destroyed, but there's some survivors. But there are groups of people scattered throughout the country, which is the United States, where they are underground in these things called vaults. And one day, it's originally like a bunch of different games. Somebody from a vault goes out into the open, for whatever reason, and this show was no different. So somebody's in the vault, she goes out into the open. So fish out of water, she's naive. So obviously there's going to be some kind of disconnect between her and the rest of the world. But sometimes it went a little bit too campy, too comical. So if you get past that, there's also a black guy in the show. I don't like the way they portrayed him. I guess I should be talking to you. At first, he seemed very backstabby, and then he was like a coward, and and I say at first. I mean, I think even up at the end, he does kind of redeem himself, but I still don't like when black people aren't portrayed very well in shows or movies or whatever. So I did not like that. But
I have a follow-up question, but I'll let you finish.
All that aside, I did like the show. I think the thing that brought the show down for me is the fact that every time I tried to watch the show, it kept failing to play, which has nothing to do with the show. It more is Amazon Prime, and I don't know if maybe their servers couldn't handle all the traffic, but I mean, it was like a couple weeks after the fact it came out, and I still couldn't watch it.
Oh yeah, that's probably what it was.
But I did try watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and that worked just fine.
Yes, because Mr. and Mrs. Smith doesn't have the same reach. Because Mr. and Mr. Smith, mm-hmm. while it was a great show, it's like a rehashing of the movie. Yep. So it's not going to have the same pull as opposed to Fallout, which a lot of people love Fallout. Yep. And it's the first season. It hasn't been on TV at all. At least they had a movie. Mm-hmm. So you already had some kind of introduction to it. And this
new Mr. and Mrs. Smith just seemed to be a departure from the old one. So maybe that could have turned some people off too.
Well, this is what I was going to tell you and Dexter. Like, and maybe I I see it this way because I've seen the entire season. But to me, because I know, especially Dexter, because I know he was saying he thought it would be like more action or whatever. But the thing about the show is the show isn't about the action. It's about Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Like it's literally about their journey throughout the season of like not knowing each other, coming together, falling apart, coming back together, and then forming a team and forming a union.
Me personally, I don't have a problem with the show.
Oh.
I will. Okay, I'll say that, and I'm about to say something negative, and you just say you have something to say about Fallout. One thing I don't. So spoilers if you haven't watched Mr. and Mrs. Smith. The girl, lady, she's very adamant about, hey, I don't want you touch me. We just gonna keep this professional. We're separate. Hey, you want to do that? You want to do it? And then like the next episode, it's like they just like they've been together for a year or something. I'm like this is and then he's, I won't say, I don't know. He's also not very. I mean, there's people like that, and I guess you can kind of say that I am. He got very attached very quickly, and she don't seem like she is the same way, which is fine. You know, if that's what their dynamic is, that's what their dynamic is. But it just seems forced to me. Not on his part, because obviously people do fall quickly, but she just all of a sudden, hey, let's do this, and now, hey, I'm fine with you just being all up on top of me, even though like her face seems like she doesn't want him. It just seems weird. It seems weird, and that could, maybe I need to watch the rest of the show because she could not be with it. Who knows? I just need to watch the rest of it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything because I'm not gonna say anything.
Okay.
But the question I have about Fallout, it wasn't necessarily about Fallout itself. It was about how you talking about like black actors being portrayed or actresses and actors. While I hear you, and yes, I understand. You know, we don't always have to be portrayed in certain ways, but I mean, as a culture. We are a spectrum, right?
Right.
So we do have the nice ne'er-do-well black people, but we do have those that are down here too.
Yeah, I was trying to think of another role the black person could have been, and so they obviously wanted the main character to be a female, and then to make it a black female, that probably would have been too much of a jump. So. Shoot, it could have been the Walter Goggins, the ghoul. Like I would have been fine with him being a ghoul, the black person, and then the white person being the Brotherhood of Steel person. I don't see a problem with that. Actually, I would have liked that a lot more because while I was disappointed with the practical effects of the ghoul because it looked rubbery and it didn't look like flesh that had been rotting, but the character was fun, even though. There were some times I'm like, okay, this is kind of corny, but you know, it was a Wild West kind of thing, so I understood what they were going for. But overall,
isn't he the villain though? So then you put a black person as a villain?
No, he's not really.
Oh, so he's not.
He's an antagonist.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got you. I'm literally asking because when you watch the trailer, it makes it seem like he's like a villain.
Yeah,
that's why I was asking.
No, he's not. I mean, obviously, so throughout the show, everybody's against the woman. Everybody.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I feel like I remember a scene in the trailer where like he was shooting at her. That's why I'm like, obviously he was trying to kill her. Like, is he not a villain? But now that you make, because if you put it in the context of like, they haven't seen a person like her before, so, oh yeah, who are you? You know.
I'll say it this way. I don't know if you want to hear it. Never mind, because I don't want to give anything away.
I probably won't watch the show, James.
Okay, so there is a MacGuffin that she has that everybody wants. And at some point, people become allies. But
typical TV show stuff. I got you. Now on to the real show. Halo Season 2, Fall of Reach.
So does Reach fall?
Yes.
Okay.
it's destroyed.
So
Demolished.
I mean, just based on playing the game Reach, I know how it goes. My question, so obviously Master Chief is not on the planet when it happens.
Yes, he is. He gets off, but like he's not there when it actually gets destroyed.
Right. That's what I meant.
But he's there like at the beginning of it.
So I read the book and I played the game. At no point did they ever say Master Chief was on the planet, but I don't know Halo lore enough. I feel like it's been documented that Master Chief was somewhere else at the time. So I would just have to assume that this show was like a alternate universe, alternate story. I wouldn't approach it. I can't approach it like it's a part of the main timeline. So just if I was to watch it again, separated, how often is his mask off?
Pretty much the season.
Okay. All right, go ahead and continue.
Because there's a whole storyline with, because Halsey, they think she's dead, but she's in prison. So this new guy comes in, and basically him and Master Chief they basically bump heads because he basically knows Master Chief. Because at the end of season 1, I don't know what you remember from me telling you, because I think Master Chief, I can't remember where they went, but they went to where the aliens were. Mm-hmm. I can't remember where, because it wasn't but somehow he gets killed, and Cortana takes over his body to keep him alive or whatever.
I remember you saying that.
And so it takes place after that. But the new guy that comes in knows that something's not right with Master Chief, because he's not the same after that, because they had to pull Cortana out of him or whatever. Oh. And so he wants Master Chief to tell him what he knows, and Master Chief is like, I don't know what you're talking about. So they keep butting heads a lot, to the point to where like he basically grounds them as a crew. He's like, I'm not letting y'all go on any missions. Matter of fact, I'm taking y'all suits. Y'all can't, because he took their suits because they snuck off on an unsanctioned mission to go find another crew that Master Chief, because Master Chief knew that the Covenant were already on Reach, but he kept telling everybody, but nobody believed him. And so he's like, you know what, we're gonna go find them. He told his team, hey, we got a mission, we gotta go find Team Cobalt, I think is what it was. So they go out there, they go to the room, turns out they get captured, arrested. It's like, the team was like, what, Master Chief, what's up? You lied to us. He's like, I told y'all what y'all needed to know. So that's also not Master Chief. Master Chief is very, he lets his people know. But I'll be quiet. I'm sorry. Stop nitpicking. I'm listening. But yeah, so because of that, they get sanctioned, not sanctioned, but like I can't think of the term they use on the show. They put them in standby mode. They had like this big board with and they put them in standby. Okay. Meaning like they can't do them. So they took their suits, so they had to go training, and so everybody's doing their thing or whatever. So, Reach happens. Come to find out, the whole time Master Chief's been trying to tell them, Oni, whatever it's called, they've already known. So they've already planned to evacuate and just let the Covenant have Reach. Okay. But so basically, their plan is to get rid of save as many people as they can, basically, to attack. So the plan was to fake Master Chief's death, so therefore they could use that propaganda to recruit more people to be Spartan 3s. I think that's what they called them. Because they had these big posters like, finish his fight, fight with, whatever, blase, blase. So, but then of course, obviously he's not dead. It's a lot of stuff that happens. I was trying to, it's a pretty good little season.
Sounds like Lightyear mixed with The Last Jedi. I like Lightyear. Anyway, I won't get into that.
But here's the thing, like, I think I enjoy the show more because I don't have the attachment that you... Like, I have the attachment of the game, but you got to also think about the way I play Halo. I skip through the stories. So like I just like playing the game.
Yeah.
So as long as you got the suits, you got the guns, you got the aliens, the swords, the guys has the same name, and the story is compelling, I'm all in.
So what that scene that you showed me and all these elites think, hey, we can kill you, but we're not going to, even though you killed all our elites. Why did they leave them?
So the girl from the first season, she's still alive, but he didn't know that.
Okay.
So she's basically kind of in control of them, and well, not in control of them, but like she's working with the Arbiter, and so she basically commands them because in order to do something with the Halo, they have to cut off the demon's head, which they think the demon is Master Chief.
Right.
But she basically tells them that now's not the right time. So they just like, all right, cool. We're just gonna leave now.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
Hey man, like I said, I enjoy it. I had a great time. I even got watery eyed.
If you like it, I'm not watching it. I was gonna say if you like it, I love it, but
I know. I got watery eyed, so I'm good.
And that makes it seem like I don't want to watch anything that you like, which is not the way I meant it. But.
I know exactly. I got you.
Okay.
Yeah, no, but that's what I said. I feel like the reason why I enjoy it is because like the same with Fallout, like you have an attachment to Fallout, so you're gonna go in with that attachment. I can watch Fallout like because I have no attachment.
Yeah.
The only attachment I have to Fallout is watching you walk around. Click, 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 click. So if I watch the show, I'm like, if the story doesn't get me, I'm like, I could care less about this.
So the good thing about this one is like there's nothing, I don't want to say takes away from the game experience, but there's, I don't want to say Easter eggs, but it's more like, hey, I remember that from the game. And it's not used. Maybe there's been one or two of them. It's like, hey, we just give you a glimpse of this Yogwai, but actually I think there was a fight with Yogwai, so that's not even an Easter egg. Playing the game enhances the show, but I'm pretty sure you don't need the show to enjoy it. I'm sorry, you don't need the game to enjoy the show.
I mean, I get that, but like, you also got to think about it from like a producing standpoint too. Like, yeah, you want people who play the game because it's going to enhance your enjoyment of the show because obviously you love the game. But you also want people who have no idea what this is to watch it too.
Exactly.
So like, you can't get too deep into like the weeds of like, oh, Fallout, but you got to give it enough to be like, okay, because you want the fans to at least be like, all right, I can rock with this.
I don't think there's anything that, I think there's maybe one part that, you said you're not going to watch it. So there's a guy who gets his foot just destroyed. And he finds this guy who's like a traveling con artist. And the whole show, you think that he's just like trying to mess people over. So, he finds the guy that got his foot destroyed. He's like, hey, I can help you grow a foot. I can, cure your broken foot. And everybody is like, you know that you can't cure, like if your foot's been mangled.
Yeah.
You either have to amputate that and put on a prosthetic. You can't cure that. So like, you're a con artist. We don't believe that you, so he sticks the dude and his foot grows back. So the only way that would make sense to you, I guess, is if you play the game. I'll let you just believe, like, and okay, I don't care. We're just going to keep going. But there's something called FEVs, which turns people either into ghouls, mutants, super mutants. I mean, they're all pretty much mutants, but there's levels to it. So he just that is what was developed to try to make people into super mutants.
I got you. I mean, hey man, sound like something I won't watch.
I liked it, but I hear you. Like that's
well, also like because I never played the game, I wouldn't go that deep with it. I'd just be like, okay, he knows some stuff.
And not only that, you don't have a want to play the game.
It just didn't seem fun.
I understand.
It just did not seem fun. Because I feel like with video game stuff, and I'll say this before we close up, but like, it's a fine line because the only successful example I can think of is like Harry Potter, to where like Harry Potter is like one of the biggest like movie franchises, and you can ask many people who read the books, they'll say it's nothing like the books. So it's kind of like, I feel like as long as you do it well, but I feel like you also have to have the fans, you know, like give it a chance to, or at least have them invested in at least what you put out there. But, you know, sometimes you just got to be able to separate, James. You can't separate. It's hard. I get it. I get it, man. It's hard to watch it and it'll not be what you expect it to be. I get it, man.
I was willing to do it, you know, in Dragon Ball Evolution, and Last Airbender is a while ago, and now that I'm older, maybe, I don't know, but...
Well, Dragon Ball Evolution, that's just rubbish.
Well, I mean, some people say The Last Airbender is too.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm willing. I can watch The Last Airbender. I'm not doing Dragon Ball, but I can set things aside for The Last Airbender.
That's how I feel about Last Airbender. Like I never, like I've stood firm on that claim. Like I never said it's the greatest movie or the greatest version of that show, but is it watchable? Yeah, I can watch it. Like I'm not gonna just put it on, but like if I had cable and if TNT was showing, The Last Airbender, okay, I'll watch it. But I'm not gonna say, hey man, you wanna watch that Last Airbender? I got it. I'm not doing that.
I definitely got the DVDs.
I know you do.
You know, I buy games. You know, they're on sale and everything. I buy the digital version, knowing I'm not gonna ever play them. But I think if the world goes to hell, goes to pot, and we all just hold up in one little place, and I got my Xbox, I got all these games that we can just, hey, you know what? We ain't no new games coming out. Let's just revisit all these games that I said I was going, and we just everybody just. I know that's like a.
What would happen if the world went to pot? You get all this set up, and none of your controllers work.
Not only that, if there's no internet, I can't download the games.
I wouldn't even go that far.
Yeah. No. I got 8 controllers, so.
There was time now. Well, James.
Yeah.
I don't even know how long we've been talking.
I don't either. I know I gotta cut a little part out, so it's gonna make it even shorter.
Oh yeah, the part that we talked about, the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the rated PG 82 that, you know, half our viewers can't even listen to because nope.
Oh no, it got pretty dark. We even turned the lights out and had a conversation with flashlights and then turned them back on. So you'll never see that part.
I was gonna say big and short after dark, but that goes with the come get this hut.
Why'd you go back to it? Why did you bring it back, James? Why did you bring it back?
It was you started it with the.
I was going to leave it, and then I paused, wait for you to plug, and then you went back to it.
You can find me on Instagram, HAPPEE __ MILOS. And again, if you try to be my friend, if you try to follow him, please send me a message so I know that you came from, you know, the podcast or you know, YouTube or whatever, because I get these random people and I think most of them are bots. But I don't want to miss you. So let me know. We also have a TikTok, big and short of it all.
Yeah, bots. You can find me on Instagram at DA_Bear, BEAR 29. Like I said, TikTok, YouTube, which you should like and subscribe.
Please.
You should also leave a review on
the podcast's apps.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yep.
That's all.
All right. Thank you for listening.
How